Hey, Transformer, Innovator, and Learner Center Practitioner. Welcome back to the 12 Days of PBL. We are almost finished, believe it or not. It's day number 11. We've had quite a journey. Very excited because last night we had a live event on day 10, and it was all centered around assessing and reporting on PBL. And one of the people remarked that a lot of times teachers' objections to doing project-based learning is that, hey, I got a curriculum I got to cover, mandated standards, and so forth. And, it's packed. However, we really learned that you could infuse those standards and skills and curriculum quite naturally and seamlessly and go deeper through project-based learning. And we unpacked a very, 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 very simple framework. So I will give you that framework. Just reach out to me on LinkedIn or email. It's a one-page simple framework. And before I go to day number 11 of 12 Days of PBL, I wanted to introduce, this is my book, The Power of Simple. I know a lot of us are about to go on holiday break. I am all about simple because I know how tough educating could be, and we're all looking for simple frameworks. Project-based learning is not something that's going to be simple that you can just acquire overnight. However, it could be made a lot more simple, and that's really one of my big objectives is to help you do that. So without further ado, let's go to day 11. Day 11 is really going to focus on how to open up project-based learning for student agency, voice, and choice. Quick recap of where we've been. We looked at high quality project-based experiences. We talked about how to build community partnerships, how to infuse our curriculum, how to schedule and scaffold project-based learning seamlessly so that it fits into our timetables. We looked at how to differentiate. We also explored learning spaces for project-based learning to fly. And then we looked about how to develop independent learners. And then last night we looked at assessment with a group of practitioners. So we're talking today about agency, right? And agency is a big word that we're focused on. And, if we're not providing students with agency, what really is our purpose? Because students now have access to information at their fingertips. It's our job to support them in doing that and really asking the right question and engaging them in the right kind of experiences. Now, we've all done cookie cutter projects. I remember when I was a kid, I used to go home one time, and it was medieval Europe that we were studying, and it was to build a castle. We learned all about medieval Europe, and in the last 2 days, I go home, build a castle out of some sugar cubes and whatnot, come in, we look at all the castles. It's kind of fun. Didn't learn a lot, and then those castles went into a trash bin out back, like most of our projects. And I've seen so many teachers now enacting these kind of cookie cutter projects, right, where it's like a take-home kit. We have STEM projects that are like that all the time. STEM's a great pursuit, but way too many cookie cutter projects. We want kids to be asking questions, develop their own ideas and projects, not something like in a kit that goes home. That's the difference between project-based learning and doing projects, because really we want to increase agency. Now, we mentioned earlier how you don't just let students and kids and learners off the leash right away, because they're going to need some support and scaffolds. But we don't want to overly structure things. And I'm going to give you a case study. And the case study comes from Futures Academy, the program I was a part of, that, by the way, is also shared in this book you should read. And it's around the entrepreneurship project-based experience that we pursued. Now, the first year we did this, and I've done this in the past, as a teacher, I made every business produce the same thing. Every business had to be around baked goods of some sort. And the kids were, creating their baked goods. And there were some deviations in what they created, but it was very much not a lot of student agency. How do we open that up? And some teachers fear that I'm going to have 25 different projects going in different directions. But the thing that's going to center everything is that big driving question. So case study, we looked at, this idea of entrepreneurship. Kids love to create businesses. They love to ideate. And it's a great gateway into project-based learning. So we looked at potentially what is an organization that could benefit from these kids' businesses. We looked at that together. That increases their agency. They found an organization. That organization helped repair cleft palates for babies who had cleft palates and provided them surgeries. So we decided on an NGO that would benefit from these student businesses. We then looked at, okay, how do we create these student businesses? How do we generate the most profit? And we're kind of exploring this big question together. The big question was, how do we use entrepreneurship to meet a community need? That's the central question. There are a lot of different projects then that students can take up that revolve around that. Now we set the parameters. Students are going to create some kind of business. We don't know what it is. They're going to have to do some kind of business plan. They're going to have to do the marketing for the business. They're going to have to raise capital, everything a business owner would have to do. But they have so much agency in what that business is. I didn't mandate that it's baked goods. Now we started with them right away the first week just to get into it, to see their business brain work. We had them do a bake sale the first week. We said, we're going to get it out of your system, do a bake sale the first week so you can at least experience what it's like to try to raise money. And that was a nice stepping stone into increasing their agency and saying, now it's opened up. What do you want to do? We had kids doing upcycled bags and turning those into upside clothes into bags, into pillowcases and whatnot. We had students doing a craft business. We had students doing a tech business. We had students even who volunteered to wait in line for other students during lunch. That was their business. And they would charge the students a fee. They're starting to think like entrepreneurs. We had another student that created these card holders that would protect their cards, because their cards were always getting lost and the card holders are always breaking. They created these indestructible card holders. They advertised all their businesses and raised enough money. I think it was to fund 5 or 6 kids cleft palate surgeries. So incredible results. And why? Because we opened up student agency. So my challenge to you, if you're jumping into project-based learning, yes, it's probably going to need some scaffolds at first, but our kids are ready to go there. For God's sakes, it doesn't matter how old they are. These kids were 11 years old. Our kids are never too young. I've seen businesses where kids are creating at 5 and 6 years old. They're running a full business. They have all the different parts of the business. And of course, yes, it's going to take some scaffolds, but our kids are ready to go there. We have to be ready to give them the agency. So I hope you enjoyed that video and that case study. My question to you is, how might you open up your project-based experiences for more student agency? I'd really challenge you to change the project into a question that goes in the center. Kids have projects they're taking up to answer that central question, and you're going to watch your classroom and space and learning transform because of it. Again, if you want to get all the videos, it's right here, transformschool.com/12 days of PBL. And we'll see you tomorrow for the last day, day 12, where it's going to share a little bit of where you can go for more support on implementation of your PBL experiences this year. Happy holidays, and I will see you tomorrow for day 12.